There are over 30 country parks in Wales. Thousands of people visit them every year.
Some are old estates of wealthy landlords. Some are old industrial sites.
The parks are usually close to towns, and that's because they've been set aside for us to enjoy on our doorstep.
But what I like about them most is that they're great places for You'd think I was right out in the countryside, in the middle of nowhere, maybe on the edge of a moorland here. But you'd be wrong, because look again, these hills behind me, well, they're not hills. It's an old coal tip. And now nature has taken over completely with the heather, the gorse and these grasses. And this is a really special place. This is the Dare Valley Country Park, right on the edge of the Brecon Beacons.
Up to around 50 years ago, most of the South Wales valleys, like this one near Aberdare, were dominated by coal mines. The mines have now gone, and here in Dare Valley, 500 acres of country park has been created in their place.
Is in this culvert here. Perfectly safe place because it's deep water. They're up the side of a concrete wall, so something like mink can't get at them. It's the perfect place, really.
Dare Valley Country Park opened in 1974. It was the first country park in Wales and the first in Britain to be built on reclaimed land. The park's warden, Wayne Jones, used to be a coal miner himself.
I'll tell you what, it's a fair old climb, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
I thought one of us was going to go over there as well for a minute. And this must be part of the old tip.
Yes, that's the old spoil, what was taken up from down the bottom end and transferred up to here.
That's all slag in it, coal slag, that is now.
Slag.
So it's a huge mound of it, this one, and another one over there as well.
Yeah.
But this is all that's left, is it?
This
now?
is all what's left.
Altogether then, how many mines would there have been?
There would have been 19 mines in Dare Valley itself, including some drift mines.
Do you remember this as it used to be?
I remember seeing the buckets coming up and the spoil being tipped up here. Wow. And it looked incredible. As all you could see was black.
It's just remarkable, I think, how everything's gone. You know, all the metalwork, all the buildings, they've all gone. And what's wonderful, from my point of view anyway, is the fact that, you know, you've seen gorse, you've seen the heather, you've seen trees. Nature's taken over, isn't it?
It has, yes. It's done a very good job of it as well.
And this is just all left? You haven't planted anything?
No, it's all been regenerated. We haven't done any planting whatsoever. It's all regenerated. Nature's taken its course.
As well as open land, there are pockets of woodlands in the valley. Some of them are quite old and will have been here during the mining periods. It's now early May and summer migrants from Africa have arrived.
Just come out to the woodland now, and a lot of warblers here. There's blackcap singing, chiff-chaff, willow warbler here as well, and one or two of them are nest building because they've got grass and other nest material. I saw one with a feather in its beak, so they'll be nesting somewhere on the edge here. And I tell you what I've just seen, and it's a really good find, is a little butterfly. Well, I call it a butterfly, it looks more like a moth, but it's called a dingy skipper. Not a great name, but it describes the butterfly perfectly, really, because it's grey and brown. It's not attractive at all, but this is perfect for it. It looks like an old meadow. You've got meadow ants here as well, but it isn't. It's an old coal heap where they've put some soil back, but it's thin soil, and underneath all of this, you can see there's an ant's nest here. And if I was to dig down underneath all of this, you'd have all bits of coal and shale, and that warms up very, very quickly, so it's good for invertebrates. Bear in mind now, this is quite a scarce butterfly, because it used to be quite widespread, and it does well here because of all of these old coal tips. You haven't got tall vegetation, you've got a variety of plants, and as I say, it warms up quickly. That's nice. I've just found out where one of these warblers is building its nest. And he's back and forth like a yo-yo at the moment. There he goes. He's just gone out again, I think now. What he's doing, there he goes now, just in the bush. He's landing in these small bushes here. He's dropping onto the floor. He's picking up sometimes bits of moss. Sometimes it might be a beakful of grass. Once it was a big feather as well. And then he's taking all of that to the base of a big anthill over there. And I'll bet the nest is right at the bottom in that base. So he'll be building that. He'll be finished that job probably in 2 or 3 days now. It's a great little spot for them. There he goes again. Look, off he goes into the tree now. They're busy, they're like yo-yos. They're back and forth all the time.
The heat of early spring sunshine always triggers activity, and you can quite easily miss some nice views if you don't keep your eyes open.
There's a surprising amount of wildlife just in a little patch like this. The thing is, we've got to look really, really hard for it.
I'm looking for lizards, and on ground like this, they like basking on grassy tumps.
And the reason they're just on these tumps is, well, a variety of reasons really. First of all, they blend in quite well. These are quite young, probably 1 year old, I think. When they're young, they're quite dark, and as they get older, they tend to get lighter. So they're pretty well camouflaged. Second reason is the old grass, last year's grass, stays attached, but it dies back. That's all the yellow stuff you see here. And that'll heat up quickly. So these lizards, they have to warm up from the heat of the sun. And on here, not just do they get the heat of the sun, but they get the heat of the old grass as well. And of course, the last thing really is, if I was to get too close, they would need to disappear. And they can disappear right in the middle of this tump. And once they're gone, they're gone. I'll never find them once they're gone.
Dare Valley Country Park extends all the way up a glacial valley known locally as the Darren. It's great walking country. And there are quite a few walking groups that use the park. Lee Davis and Julie Rolls organise some of the walks.
Hi.
Hello there.
Are you all right?
Hello.
I knew this was a busy park. I didn't realise it was this busy. What is this? A walking group, is
Yeah,
it?
it's a local walking group. We set it up a few years ago, and it's just grown from strength to strength, really.
So is this one of those Nordic
walking groups? Yeah.
So you use the poles?
You use the
Nordic
poles to
walking?
push yourself forward, and it engages all the upper body and all that, you know.
See, I've always liked having my hands free. So I can look at, you know,
Yeah.
birds or fish or flowers or lizards or whatever
Yeah,
it is, you know, but...
Well, it's kind of an exercise in its own right, like.
And how often will you meet then?
Every week we meet on a Wednesday, but there are other groups that meet as well, which Lee organises, but our group is a Wednesday one. And,
Is it busy?
It's fantastic.
Oh, that's
we
brilliant.
use the park well, and we go around lots of areas in the park.
It's one of the best kept secrets in the valleys, to be honest with you. Like, you know, we're just on the fringes of the beacons. Yeah, and it's a great place to be honest.
And I bet
I'm local, I'm bound to say that, so, you know.
Well, it is lovely. It is lovely, the variety. Yes, and on a day like this, you just can't go wrong.
No.
Early the next morning, I'm taking a walk myself to the base of the Darren. In particular, I'm looking for bird activity in the valley.
So one of the many things I love about this park is that the wardens have built this viewing platform up here, and it's in a great location because you're tree level, right at the tops of the trees, so you can see all around you. And hopefully on a spring morning like this, I can hear the birds, a lot of bird song, and if anything moves, I should be able to see it from up here.
The loudest bird in the woodland is a wren. As it's small and not very colourful, it needs to be loud to attract a mate. And for a little bird, well, he's making the loudest noise in the valley. High up on the Darren, another bird is calling. It's a peregrine falcon, one of Wales's top predators, and he's greeting his mate. Glacial valleys like Cwm Dare are perfect places for peregrines. It gives them great views of any passing prey, and the inaccessible ledges are safe nesting sites.
The pair's been very, very active now. It's the second week of May, and I'd expect them to be on eggs by now. They should be on eggs towards the end of April, but they're definitely not, because the male and the female have been up and about, flying around, calling a lot, and it's typical activity before she lays her eggs. She's now sitting up on a tree branch over there. She's not concerned about going back onto the nesting ledge at all. So my guess is she's probably just about to lay, probably in the next few days now.
By midsummer, while peregrines have finished their nesting on the Darren, cattle have appeared on the wet grassland. They're part of a grazing and fire protection project. Dry grasses and dense vegetation are flammable, and fires can be a problem on the uplands of South Wales. Emma Douglas works with PONT, a grazing conservation organisation that promotes improved grazing habitats in Wales.
See, we have those are cows here, are they?
Yeah, there they are.
How many have you got in all here?
I think there's 6 here altogether with calves at foot.
I'll tell you what, if these were dogs, I'd call them mongrels.
You'd be right.
Are they? They are mongrels, are they?
They're continental crosses, bit of a mixture.
So why are you using cattle to graze here then? Why not sheep?
Well, cattle, they like to grab the vegetation with their tongue and they pull it up. And so it's not physically possible for them to graze very close to the ground. It gives a great sward structure, which is beneficial to things like reptiles and invertebrates, and it gets rid of the the more dominant vegetation like the rushes and the grasses, allowing more floristic diversity. Also, when they lie up, which they do, they like to eat, then they'll lie down and chew the cud, and then they'll create these lovely flattened areas, again more structure within the sward.
I tell you what was lovely was as I walked up here, I saw ragged robin, I saw cotton grass, I saw frogs everywhere, and pasture like this, I suppose at one time would have been common all over Wales.
Absolutely, particularly on the South Wales coalfield, it would have been swathes of this grassland.
So does that mean that even when coal mining in the Dare Valley was at its height, this probably wouldn't have been touched then, would it?
It appears not, and obviously that over time started to decrease, and then we got a lot of rank grasses, Molinia, which was routinely set fire to. And now that the grazing has been reintroduced here, it's actually reduced the fire risk. There hasn't been a fire here since the grazing's been...
Oh, fantastic. And this is what you would term rose pasture, is it? This is?
Yes, rose pasture.
Which means what? They're just wet pasture?
Wet pasture, yeah.
Oh, I like cows. I really like seeing cows out on the pasture, out on the hill. And for me to come and see this and see all the flowers and everything, it's just... Be really careful where I put my hands here because this big cow part, but it's a great time to come to the rose pasture, timed it to perfection really, because at the moment, if I can pick them up, come here boy, pick one up anyway, look at that, there are thousands of little toadlets, and what's happened is that the adult toads would have spent the winter months in the woodland, in the hedgerows, maybe even in the rose pasture itself here at the base of all these rushes. They made their way down to the big pond just down below me. Oh, he's jumped. Oh, he's on there now. They made their way down there. They've copulated and laid there, and then the tadpoles have changed into little toadlets, and all at once they've emerged. They've come out of the water. They made their way back up into here, and the rose pasture is perfect for them because it's quite damp, but it's not too wet. Plenty of cover. And there's a plethora of insects here, which is what they eat. So they'll fatten up here now for a few years. They'll stay here, they'll stay in the hedgerows, in the woodland, before they themselves eventually will make their way back down and lay in that pond again. But the floor, I mean, they are everywhere. There are thousands of them here. Let them get on with it.
Parts of Dare Valley Country Park are still being farmed. Marion Thomas has lived here all his life and has seen the valley transform from mining to a country park.
Hello. All right, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Have you been around the sheep?
Yes.
Dogs look tired now for you?
Yes, they need to work hard.
So this is your land here, is it? All around us here?
Yes, all around there.
And what have you got? Just sheep? Have you got cattle as well?
Sheep, there's cattle here, there's horses.
So when you were a young lad, let's say you're 5 years old now, standing here with me looking out this way, what would you have seen then?
Oh, it's totally different. There was a big massive tipper here.
So they took a lot of that away?
They had the washery down by here, and then they turned it into country park.
How did you manage to farm then if you had, you had a colliery here, you had a colliery there, you had all the spoil and everything? Where did you farm then?
Yeah, well, we'd done the same. We used to have a shepherding pony. You would go shepherding most days. Around the flock, you turn the flock back onto your own ground, and so would your neighbours do the same. So
this would be up on the hill, not on this low ground at all?
No. But what happened then, in the winter months, the sheep used to fall down for shelter in the valleys, and we used to feed them then on the fields. But the sheep are a lot hardier in them days. They would live on the mountain.
And you would have seen probably hundreds of people coming into work in both pits.
But yes.
What do you think of this now then? It's a park now, and seeing hundreds of people coming in and enjoying themselves, would you rather have it like this?
No,
you'd rather have the mines back?
Yeah, well, there was so much community spirit then where everybody knew anybody. Nobody was depressed because everybody knew everybody. And now when the colliers came up, you went to talk to them. If it was very quiet on a Sunday, we could come down and have a shower, which was fantastic.
Samurai sword on my back. You don't know how to act. Maybe you should relax. stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop, 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 stop.
These man-made pools, they're fantastic places for wildlife, for all kinds of wildlife, especially now in the autumn when you get a bit of sun like this warm day. You see dragonflies and damselflies. There are fish in here as well, small fish. I think I've seen sticklebacks in here, but I think it's mainly trout because this used to be a fishery, believe it or not. And the reason I've come in here is because there's a kingfisher hanging around this far shore. He's got perches all over the place. It's really difficult to pin him down. He was over here, he's moved along a bit, but if I watch from the bank, I'm a long, long way off. So I'm gonna venture about halfway out, see if I can get a better view of him. These kingfishers, they won't nest here, they'll nest elsewhere, probably on one of the major rivers further down because you've got no nesting banks, there's no muddy bank for them to dig this hole in. But once they've finished breeding, once the young have left, they'll come up here because they know that there's lots of perches, lots of fish here. So it's an ideal spot. And of course, if you get quite a bit of rain, the rivers will be fast flowing, they'll be silty, whereas this probably won't. So it's a really good place for them. And even in winter, in deep winter, if it gets really frosty, very icy, you have so many people with dogs here and dogs coming in the water that they're constantly breaking the ice. So no matter what the weather, they can always fish. Great place for them. Oh, there he goes, there he goes, there he goes. Oh, and back up again. Oh, wow. Oh, and off he goes. I should say, wow. I watched that all the way down, right into the water and all the way back up again, and then she's gone off around the corner over there. I say she because I can see a little bit of orange at the base of the bill here. And beautiful, beautiful bird. And the amazing thing is it's got this wonderful orange breast and then blue, bright blue back. But in the middle of the back then, they've got this line of, the brightest blue in the whole of the animal kingdom, I would say anyway. I mean, you know, we're not in a tropical rainforest, we're not in the Amazon here, we're in a country park near Aberdare. And there's a kingfisher here. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Where's it gone now?
The Dare Valley has completely been transformed from an industrial landscape to a managed wild parkland. Even the few remaining visible remnants of coal mining have largely been covered by plant growth.
So you wouldn't have wanted to walk up here 25 years ago. So it looked very, very different then. Nothing but, well, no vegetation at all. Just a big spoil heap. Bits of coal, bits of slag, just waste everywhere. But look at it now. You can tell it's autumn because the heather has just gone over. A few flowers, but most of it's gone over now. The bilberries would have been full of bilberries. Lovely eating, of course, they've gone over. And it's quiet, and On the surface at first you might think, oh, do you know what, there's not much here, but it's incredible what you do find underfoot as I walk. Now, a lot of insects coming up, spiders scurrying away as well. And all of this, all the vegetation, the head of the bilberry, the grasses, the mosses, all the insects has colonised completely naturally. It's covered everywhere. Look, it just shows nature's amazing, really. No matter what scars man leaves on the landscape, if you leave it alone, nature will claim it back in time. And of course, if you get thousands of insects, you're going to get predators, and the most common ones here, the spiders. And look at this one. It's one of the orb web spiders. You can tell because you've only got to look at the shape of the web, the anchors and this concentric webbing in the middle here now. And she's a female, she's a big old girl as well. And she's just caught a cream fly. One of the cream flies has flown in here. She's come straight out from her little den in there. She's wound it up in the web. She'll probably leave it there, come back and eat it later on. But there will be literally thousands of them up here on this coal tip, just hoovering up all of these insects. Little cracker too, look at the size on them. There's a stunning view of the whole of the park almost from up here, high up on the Darren. And I think now in the autumn, it's at its beautiful best. It's a time of change. You can feel the change in the air. It's much cooler. You can see the change all around you. The leaves have gone beautiful reds and oranges and gold, and the bracken is just russety brown all over the landscape here. And of course, this is a park that's seen huge changes from being incredibly rural to industrial, the mines, the noise, the pollution. It would look so different, and now it's back to being a natural looking park once more. I tell you what's lovely is that there's a small rowan tree just about 20-30 metres ahead of me here, and it's full of berries, bright red berries, acting like a magnet, drawing in birds. I've seen song thrush feeding there. There's been a small flock of fieldfare goldfinch, but best of all, and very apt, is at this moment there's a ring woozle feeding on the berries. And I say it's apt because the ring woozle is the emblem of the park. They haven't nested here for over a decade now. But isn't it nice that a ring woozle on its way from further north down to North Africa has seen fit to call in to the park to read.
And you can see more from Iolo as he visits a raven colony on Anglesey. That's in Winter Watch tomorrow night at 8 over on BBC 2 Wales. And at this time next week here on BBC 1 Wales, X-Ray is back.